Hi, this is Christopher Lewis, and welcome to Dating Intelligence, the podcast where we give relationship advice from dating to marriage and everything else in between. And always with the goal of helping you to continuously be the best you at all times.
So if you're looking for real life and honest information to help you navigate your relationships, we've got you covered.
We've got you covered.
Look at
Hi,
my
Jamie.
hair.
We got you covered.
Let me see myself, Travis.
Hi, guys.
Looking a little
We are at
wild.
Sticky Paw Studio once again in Las Vegas. And Travis, hi, Travis.
Hi there.
How's her hair look?
Her hair is beautiful.
Okay.
A little good messy. It's a good messy.
I like the tussled look, don't you? I like
Thanks,
calling it,
Travis.
people call it beach hair, but I like just call it, it's just tussled.
Like I
you
just
know?
woke up and I didn't brush
it's
my
just
hair.
like sexy after sex and it's tussled. That's
Oh
even
my
better.
God,
I'm just saying.
Chris.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. So
One time I showed up and I sat down and Travis looked at me and he was like,
No
I said,
go?
what? And he goes, let me help you out. He came behind me and literally like brushed my hair for me.
Travis, one thing I love about you is you're like straight up always just so honest, and it's just like this raw honesty that I just love about you.
I love you guys. And that's honest.
Love it.
Thank you.
That's when I was like, he's a fucking keeper.
Yes, he is. I talk about you all the time when I'm back in LA. I just go, well, our producer, Travis, I go, why don't you shoot in LA? I go, because we don't have a Travis.
Yeah, no Travis there.
There's no Travis.
There's just a bunch of posers there. There's no Travis there.
By the way, Travis, have you gotten your passport?
No.
It's
Come
springtime,
on,
Travis. There's a lot of
Travis.
places to go. And you can probably get it much quicker now, I bet.
You're probably right. I haven't checked in like 5 months since.
Well, come on. You're coming to the Bahamas with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a threat.
Let's go. Let's go.
There's a lot we have that going on, but we want you involved. Seriously.
Thank
So,
you.
Yeah, and it's
I'll get
a
on
lot.
that. Honestly, I need it.
I go kicking the pants. Unfortunately, it's overseas. Darn, but it's a win-win. All right, Jamie. So how's it going today?
It's going good. I love the Motley Crew.
I'm supporting my favorite group of all time.
Really?
Yeah, I love
Do you know
them.
Tommy?
I met Tommy Lee once before. We actually changed shirts one time because he loved the shirt I
What?
had on, and he goes, "I want that guy's shirt," and we changed shirts. They're huge for me. I love them. Going
Okay.
to see them this summer for their tour. by the
Really?
way.
I didn't know he was like going back on tour.
They're going back on. It was on hiatus from the COVID situation, so it's like a full-on festival with them and Def Leppard and Poison and the whole crew. So
Wow.
yeah, even Joan Jett's performing. It's going to be
Okay.
amazing. I don't know how long I'm going to last because I'll probably lose my voice halfway through, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And you got anything going on?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm headed to Texas
Okay.
for a Blade show with Microtech. So I have this new guy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's pretty like fancy here with like the Stingray. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay.
Almost done with my Blade.
I was going to ask you, how's that going?
It's going. I probably need one more trip and then I'm done with
Okay.
it. So
Like it's just sitting there until you actually finish it off,
so
correct?
I've like grinded and gone through the entire process. So I'm really excited.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's like what they say, you know your product best if you actually get in there and make it as
Yes,
well.
it's definitely giving me a greater appreciation for the craft.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice.
So when I pay the money for one, I'm like, okay, now I know why this is $350. So
Well, I'm going to just put out there, I signed with the managers recently. I'm really happy. I want to give a shout out to my manager, Michelle Farrell. Hi. And we'll see how she does for me and go from there. But it's time for me to step out and just kind of be the front, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and you have a photo shoot?
I do have a photo shoot coming up this week, and I've been going to some events. I know that we're going to some movie premiere, which is kind of amazing. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah, it's a movie premiere on sex trafficking. Really excited. I actually shoot with one of the stars, so she goes into her story. So really excited to support that.
Yeah,
and
definitely
then,
looking forward to support that.
Yeah, so we'll be hitting the carpet again.
I love that.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, carpet's the thing now, man. So I'm getting used to this sort
And
of
then
thing.
the Oscars, we have the Oscars coming up.
Okay. All right. Are you
that's that
coming in
weekend.
for that? Are you
Yes.
coming in town?
Yeah,
So we have to think of stuff going on then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have a good time for sure.
Okay. I think we need to probably bring in some versus games on that one too. What do you think that whole weekend we could probably, do the mobile app and just put out a bunch of versus games for people to, kind of vote on.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think.
Who's going to wear it best on the red carpet, you or me?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we always match. It's really weird.
Well, we're going to bring her, speaking of matching, we're going to bring our guest in.
Yes.
So, let her a part of this conversation because she's this little beauty over here. And she's like, I don't know if I'm nervous because she's can kick my ass or I'm nervous because she's so cute.
Yes.
So, our guest today was born in Vietnam and moved to the United States at the age of 8. She grew up in Oakland, California, and then took up kickboxing and Muay Thai in her early 20s. She also appeared in season 37 of Survivor. This MMA superstar is dubbed the Killer Bee, which is quite fitting because she looks like she could buzz around you and sting you before you even saw her coming. Not only is she beautiful and strong physically, but she exudes an empowering presence that she is proud to share with all women. Please welcome B. Nguyen to the show.
Wow, what an intro.
you like that, Bea?
Oh my God, I'm blushing.
Are you looking at me differently now?
Yeah. I don't know. When I walked in, I was like, I don't know about this guy, but now, I really like you.
Coming from you,
seem
thank you so
stand out.
much. Yeah, we're so excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
I'm excited, honestly. It's been great to meet you. And anytime there's a badass female in any kind of field, I want to be involved in it,
Good.
So,
I
glad
feel
to
the
be here.
same.
Yeah.
So he actually found you, but like I heard of you through John, but he knew of you before me.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Like I
So,
was just,
and then when John linked me with you,
Yeah.
finally, I couldn't wait to be like, haha, guess what?
Yeah.
my only disappointment is, if I may say, because I always tell the truth, is that but I'm so glad you're here. But I was like, man, I reached out to her first and she didn't respond to me. I go, is it because I'm a guy?
No, she's just a little bit better looking than you. You know what I
damn
mean?
it, B. Gosh darn
It's
it.
just more inviting.
Okay, you're right. Okay, that I'll go with. That's
It's not the
that's-
first time she's beat you out on.
No, trust me. She wins all the time. I just happy to ride her coattails sometimes.
I'm glad. I'm very flattered that you knew me before. I hope it's
I
not
did.
from Hinge or Tinder. It's from my fighting, right?
Yes,
We
it
didn't
is.
match and I ghosted you or
Strictly
something,
fighting,
right?
yeah. I was like, who is this
Amazing.
badass? And I want to know who this killer bee person is. And like,
Yeah.
I just literally started following. I mean, after Cody Stamen came on the show, and then that's when I kind of started looking into more of the MMA stuff, because I know it's big in here in Vegas. So
Right.
I want to kind of know who's doing what, and
Yeah.
just with having Eric Nixick on the show, and we're trying to get Francis Ngannou on the show.
Yeah.
But we have you, so I'm super excited now.
And you're worldwide, so you're all over the place.
Yeah, mostly in Asia, but I'm here as well. Yeah,
Okay.
across the world. I'm a little more intimidating than Francis, so don't worry about it.
Then I'll just slide my seat over just a little bit towards Jamie. No, I'm kidding. I'll slide towards me because that way you can protect me. No.
Yes.
But anyway, so more in Asia then. So does that
Yeah.
mean you do more fights over there then as well?
Yeah, so I'm signed to one championship, which is Asian based.
Okay.
We were coming to America before we were coming to the States before pandemic, but now we're still over there. I've been there for a while now, and most of the TV, nonprofits, everything, all my work is usually in Asia.
Okay.
But I'm very grateful and happy for the fan base I have here in the States, though.
That's great. Opportunity-wise now, because I know once again, and we had spoken about this off air, you now live in Las Vegas, but you were
Right.
you were in Houston for, I guess, maybe 10 years?
A
Something
long
like that,
time,
right?
like 16, 17 years, but I just travel so much that I'm rarely there.
Okay.
But I love Houston. But I'm glad to be in the mecca of fighting. I've been fighting for a long time, and I'm still fighting. I'm not retired yet, but I am I am learning to transition out. And right now, I just joined the agency, so now I'm a fight manager.
Oh, congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to join. I mean, people have been telling me a long time. I've had a lot of job offers, but I'm really interested in helping young women.
Okay.
Because I know how to navigate that world without sacrificing things that you're not comfortable with, and maximizing, your career. And so I think that'd be exciting.
So you chose correct. So the job offers you said you were offered, was it still along the lines of what you're doing now with the agency thing, or were they just completely offshoots of different?
No,
avenues?
they've all been the same. A couple of agencies have offered for me to be an agent at their agency.
Okay.
But I chose to go with KO Reps, so now I'm officially an agent under KO Reps.
Will it take away your time from the ring as far as, I mean, I'm not saying fighting, but just more like your training?
Right. No, not at all.
Okay.
I think that it puts me into the gym more.
Okay.
I think that's the edge I have as an agent compared to the other agents, is that I know the game. I'm in the game, and I know these fighters intimately.
Okay.
When did you have your first fight?
2011.
Oh, wow.
11 years ago, 12 years ago, in Houston, Texas. I'll never forget it because I'd only been training for 4 months. And it was actually the matchmaker of UFC now, Mick Maynard. He owned a promotion called Legacy. And it was my first fight. And I remember one of my old coaches or promoters, they're like, "You're only getting this fight because you're pretty." And I was like, all right, that's not the first time I'm hearing that. So we go into the fight. She's like 5 fight experience. And I'm telling you, my technique is disgusting. It's like I'm just wailing, but I think my heart won the fight. And she retired actually after the fight.
Wow.
Yeah, so after that, I was just like addicted. I was just
Okay.
happy.
So when you did that, got in the ring for the first one,
Yeah.
and you were asked and you said, yes, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Did you feel you were ready, or just like, I'm just going to take a chance? Just wherever it lands, this is where I land.
Man, I've always been a daredevil, like at 4 years old, I'd jump out of a tree. I mean, who's ever really ready to jump? You know what I mean?
Good point.
I've always been that person, the do it scared person. Like whatever scares me the most, I think I do. So, yeah,
The adrenaline rush.
Wow.
yeah, I wasn't, I wasn't scared. I was like, let's fucking do it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. So moving here, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I read
It's actually 6. but
6
yeah.
years. Okay. So I did some of your bio. 7. You're one of 7. Is that correct? Or
One of 9.
9. Okay. Okay.
7 girls, 2 boys.
Man, how
Wow.
is that, by the way?
I'll tell you, you learn politics really early on. I've known how to navigate people my entire life, It's a lot of people to navigate in one family, and you learn how to get your way. You learn what not to do to not get your way. I mean, you've learned a lot from it, but it's
Okay.
incredible. My sisters are actually really impressive, so like it's a blessing to have all of them.
Where do you fit along the lines? Where
I'm
are
the
you?
youngest.
Okay, so this is why I was going to say the scrappiness and the fighting.
The
This is
chip
where
on
you
my
have to-
shoulder comes from it. When you're the
Yeah.
youngest, they're like, nobody's going to be for advice. Nobody's going to be for, anything.
Yeah.
So I've always had a chip on my shoulder to prove myself. And that's why early in my career, I was so successful because nobody thought I was going to be good. Especially I fought when women weren't really fighting,
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
and they were saying, oh, it's you're pretty. Oh, Instagram. Oh, photo shoots. And I mean, they still do it now. But the chip on my shoulder really got me through.
Okay.
Do you think that that kind of sets you apart from the other women in the UFC or in fighting in a whole?
I think that we all have a story, right? Fighting is something that like it's within. It's not like you can have all the skill in the world, but I always say there's martial artists and then there's fighters. When you guys, even people that don't know MMA, you watch and you know which one's fighters and which one's
Okay.
martial artists. You know what I mean?
Right.
So all of us have a story, but I mean, mine was just ridiculously challenging,
Okay.
but which made me such a firecracker. And so I think that's what set me apart from everybody else. And I wasn't really scared of anything, honestly.
That's great.
I
That's
love
really great.
that.
Go ahead.
Do you have anything coming up?
So
Scheduled?
I just fought recently. I mean, last month, a month or so ago. And right now I'm pretty transparent on social media, so everybody already knows I'm going through a lot of uncertainty and self doubt in the fight game, and knowing that you have so much more, but when to call it quits as an athlete is honestly the most difficult
Yeah.
thing to do. So that's what I'm going through right now, and I'm going to take time doing it, and I don't really rush clarity. I'm going to wait till it comes and make my decision then.
I love that. And it's never too late to change your mind. I mean, look, Tom Brady retired and now he's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I got to read up on that. I heard that today. I got to read up
Yeah.
on that.
Sometimes
so-
you got to step away
Wait.
to dive in.
to get clarity. You
know
know
what I mean?
So,
So
right. But you
that's
also have
what
all
I'm
these
doing
other
now.
avenues now, which
Right.
is you're still in it, which is good
Right.
for you because you're staying around the sport.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work through these years. I actually have my TV show's premiering tonight on Discovery Channel.
What?
yeah,
What
this- I
is
was gonna
it?
ask-
8
yeah.
p.m. Tonight on Discovery Plus. But so I shot a passion project last year, and I went to India, and I am a mentor on a show where we find India's ultimate warrior, and I can't really say what the challenges are, but let me tell you, it is the hardest, like toughest. We really tried to break these people.
Okay.
And they really surpassed our expectations.
How long were you there for shooting this?
I was there for 6 weeks shooting in the mountains
Man.
of India. And what really caught my eye was how women are just now breaking out in that culture. And so seeing those girls it was very important for me to join the project because I was the only female mentor.
Okay.
Like the only female that's in like the top parts in the show. So it was important for the girls to see that. So it was really fun.
That sounds amazing.
Ah,
That
I
comes out
love
tonight,
that.
guys. Well, I mean, this is recorded, but we'll
Yes.
plug it anyways, and we're gonna have
Yeah,
you're gonna have
yeah.
a bunch of like.
It's a
influence.
series, so it'll
Yeah.
be
Okay.
ongoing, and
Good.
you can watch me, intimidate some more men on there.
That's awesome.
I love
well, I'm
it.
gonna.
How were the guys with you?
Oh, they were obviously underestimating me. A couple will cut me off a couple times, but some were really respectful, of course. But I think that everything, I don't ever judge, or I never think about things from the beginning. I let the whole process happen, and throughout the process, in the end, we're just all respectful peers in the end, and I gained their respect, and it was all great.
Do you feel like a lot of times you have to like almost prove yourself to like gain respect? Like you walk into a room and
Yeah, but I thrive in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that chip on her shoulder she was
I
talking
thrive.
about.
I
Yeah.
thrive in it. Nothing's more validating than that, you know.
Especially when you win them over too.
Right.
I hear you.
Right. And then, you know, it just as humans, we hear things, we don't believe them. We hear things, we don't believe them. And then there's always that one shift moment where you're like, oh shit, this is real. I love seeing that face. I love seeing that reaction. Like, oh shit, she's the real deal. And I don't mind being patient till I get there.
I love that. Wow.
I love that too.
I feel like you just would never know. And this is what I always
Yeah.
say with like fighters. Like
Right.
people underestimate people all the time and you
Right.
really like, you never know.
Right.
So-
I like to even play into it, like under promise and over deliver.
Yeah.
Because I love, like I said, that shock value of I think people really learn more that way. You
I
know?
agree.
Those moments stick to you in life.
Yeah, they're definitely
Wow.
like big learning moments for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of super infectious. I mean, look at you right now. Like it's her, she glows, right?
Right,
She got this energy about you.
yes.
It's just
It's
like,
the highlight.
wow. Seriously. I mean, you have this great energy and everything as well.
Thank you.
Jamie, we're going to, because this is all tying into what we're going to talk about. So I want
Okay.
to talk about, you know, you're in Survivor and then also
Yeah.
like how you got into, you know, your kickboxing and Muay Thai, if that's okay and stuff
Let's
as well.
do it.
So the episode title is called It's My Life. How to take control of your destiny and your own life. You have to find empowerment within yourself in order to achieve success in one's life.
Right.
And I know that, you know, just researching you and things like that, you exude this empowerment. I know that you're an advocate for women and quite frankly, just everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
I can learn a lot from you, like we all can. So,
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm really excited to talk to you about that. And off that note, if we may, how did we get into kickboxing and Muay Thai? How did you start?
So I was from 16 for like 4 or 5 years. I was in a really abusive relationship physically.
Okay.
And so I think to kind of summarize it up, I felt like I had no voice and no power, kind of just lost, you know, kind of a shadow. So when he went to prison for it, actually, I was like, oh, you know, this is what people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You get free of this abuse, right? And it's even worse than being in the abuse because now you're here alone. What do? There's nobody, there's nothing.
Right.
But so I went and took a class. I was like, I'm
Okay.
going to take a class and I need to beat the shit out of something, you know? And then it was like the most dramatic thing ever. Like I went there, I swear I think the bag was rigged or already beat up. But I was like kicking it, worst technique ever. I hit the bag and like the guts of the bag fell out.
Oh my gosh.
Like I really wish somebody would have caught that. But anyways, I took the class and the coach was like, "Oh, you got to train to fight."
And that's how it started.
that was it.
Wow. Now, did you have a little bit of, because I know with kicking and everything as well,
Yeah.
flexibility and all that stuff as well. Were you already doing something to,
No, my family could never afford, you know, we come from humble beginnings. We're refugees, so we couldn't afford sports, but
you could climb a tree though, I bet.
I grew up in Oakland, California. So I
Yeah.
fought San Jose and Oakland, California, the Bay Area. So I fought a lot.
Okay.
You know, I always joke around. I'm like 150-3 in street fights. Anyways.
Wow. So you're like a little scrappy, like from the get.
Yeah, you know, from like them making fun of how smelly my food is to my accent to all kinds of things,
Right.
and people just trying me, and I've always been like this. It's nothing new. It's just on a bigger scale now.
Now she found an outlet and she's literally
Yeah.
making money on it.
Honestly,
So
I was
great.
like, people. When I saw Misha Tate, which is now my teammate, kind of surreal, but I saw Misha Tate fight Ronda, and I was like, wait, we make money off of this? I was like, I could totally do that. I was like, I could totally do this.
That's when you know you really love what you do, by the way.
Yeah.
I feel like every aspect of life, you know, especially when it comes to work, like we were discussing on one of our
Yeah.
past episodes, we were saying, if you don't love what you do, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
So,
And I always say if you're passionate about whatever you're doing in life, the
Right.
money will come.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
this
yeah.
is just like a testament to
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
who would have thought?
Yeah.
You know, that's like her personality where she, you know, happened to fit in and now
Yeah.
she's literally made a career out of it and you're inspiring other young women. And with the abuse, like it's so shitty to say, but the truth, like in a way it's such a blessing because I feel like you are going to be such a pivotal in all these other young women's lives that come to you.
Thank you.
Because having experienced that yourself, you're going to be
Right.
able to help so many people.
Right.
Right. Especially help them recognize the signs earlier on too. And I feel like that's huge with
Like,
you.
I think like saving lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I always felt like there's like these cards you're dealt with, and then things happen, right? And I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I was like, you know what? I always say, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? Am I gonna go through the abuse and then let it take me, and then just live like a mediocre life, and then never get my story told, and then it's sad, and then I pass away and no legacy? So I was like, you know what? You're gonna make this worth something. So like from fighting for my life to fighting for people, I had to. I literally, I kid you not, it was not by accident. I sat down as like a 22-year-old and I like drew out this grand dream and this grand like headline of my life, and it finally became my life.
Wow. She manifested it. Look, I have chills.
I know.
Oh,
That's
thank
You
you.
said that so well,
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
way. So, how did it? So, in that notion, like you said, when you were obviously getting out of something and then getting into something that invigorated you, and now you find this new spark in your life, were you living by yourself around this time? Did you have family around you, or?
Yeah, so so when I came out, I stayed at when he got locked up, I stayed at a women's shelter, and that's
Okay.
why I work really closely with the Women's Center now.
How old
Houston's
were you when you were in the shelter?
19.
Okay.
So I was in the shelter for a while, and then I got a bartending job, and then saved enough money to get an apartment, down payment for an apartment. And my life's always been like that. It's been like these steps that you got to do. It's never really, a lot of people are like, oh, that sucks. What are you going to do now? I was like, I don't really think of what just happened. I'm just like, okay, 1, 2, 3, like, what are we doing now? And that's always been the case. So I was 19, shelter, apartment, and then lost my apartment, and then found MMA.
Okay.
And then I lived in the gym. So I was selling memberships and cleaning the gym in exchange to train there. That's how badly I wanted to be a fighter.
Wow.
Dedication, determination.
How long were you in the shelter before getting out?
Not just like 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you did all this for the MMA at that point in time, when like calling wise, moving over to like the Asian, that's later on in your career, like,
Right. It's only been the past 2000. I think I got signed 2017, 18.
Okay.
I was 4-0 then as a pro. It was right after Survivor.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I signed right after Survivor. So I was offered. Actually, I talked to the UFC as well, but I just thought about it, and I just felt like I wanted to make an impact on women in Asia, because especially in my country, in Vietnam, there's no MMA yet. Actually, me and One Championship and Martin Nguyen, we just helped legalize MMA in Vietnam this past
great.
year.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah. So I've just always chased purpose, So that led me to One.
Okay.
I thought I would make more impact over there than here.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
Do you think that you are making an impact over there with what you've done already?
I definitely think so. I'm constantly trying to do things like active. I'm like, what can I do to help? Because like I also work with Saigon Chill. I work with a lot of nonprofits. But honestly, all those things that I'm trying to do, the biggest impact I've ever made is just being there. The representation matters. Like them
I
watching
agree.
me on TV matters. Like you, like just being a woman doing these things, it matters because like I didn't know until Misha Tate was fighting. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
you don't know until you see it, and you never think it would be your life.
I always say like time is our biggest gift that we can give. So it's not about like sending the check or the money. That's good and it helps.
Right.
But I think like definitely volunteering your time and getting
Right.
your hands in there and
Like
Right.
real involvement.
like that
Right.
that goes a long way. And
Right.
especially when you're working with like young kids, like these kids are going to remember you forever. So like you're definitely making an impact.
Yeah, it's crazy how I try not to. I used to downplay myself all the time, like, oh, they have a lot of volunteers, blah blah. Until I did. I also work with this nonprofit in Jamaica where we built a sports park for kids, and we bus them in every year we go. And then the second year you go, these kids are the same person, and they remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they grow, and they have the same shoes you gave them last time. So now I don't downplay myself, because every little thing you do makes a huge impact to somebody else. Because if you downplay yourself, you're downplaying them and
Yeah.
your impact on their life. You know what I mean? So being humble for me has really changed the meaning. I am no longer in need. As a woman, it's a big growth too, to not worry about being so humble. You know, being aware, yes, being grateful, yes, but you don't need to always be humble. You can stand in what you're doing and be
have a
proud of it.
voice, you know.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
be proud of it and say, you know, I do all these things and they make impact, and that's
Right.
okay. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So that's been cool.
That sounds all amazing. So, all right, tell us a day in the life of B. What does B do every day?
B wakes up.
Okay.
I wake up. I work out. I try to work out early in the morning. I start my days early, you know. And then I write. I journal. I coffee.
I like it that it's after all the hard stuff.
Yeah, all the hard stuff. And then I have a conversation with myself every day. And then I start my work. And work for me is whatever's at the time. TV,
Okay.
writing, fighting. It's always constantly everything. But my routine in the mornings remains the same. I always have that conversation with myself.
Good.
What
So
does
you're-
that look like or sound like?
So a conversation with yourself is I don't know if you ever feel this way, but when you have conversation, like we're having a conversation right now, the words, the facial expressions you're giving me from my words and vice versa, we remember these more than the thoughts we have fleeting in our head to ourselves.
Yeah.
So I basically just have a physical conversation with myself. So what I do is I write down questions and then I answer them, and another question and I answer them, and then I read them back to myself, and that's the conversation
great.
to ourselves.
Where
it-
did you learn that? Or did you kind of create that?
I created it because I was driving myself insane being a overthinker. And it just started, like, it was just a bunch of shit in my head.
Yeah.
And just circles and circles. And then I would try to come back and pick up where I was thinking before, but then I wouldn't remember because it's in my head.
Right.
So I started writing these things down and then clarifying them. And then now I'm like, okay, questions. And then I reminded myself one day there was a shift. I have these shift moments, and I think they're important. But I when life started getting good, I forgot why I did it, why I'm doing things. So I remembered, oh, you're doing this for the girl that didn't have the voice, the one that was getting beat back in the day. So now, in order to keep in touch with myself always, I have these conversations.
And you check in.
Yeah,
I
it's
check
called
in.
Yeah.
I check in, yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
I need to start writing stuff out like that because
I think it's
I get
important.
the jumbly
That's
thing in my
why I
head.
say journaling
Yeah.
is such a like key
Right.
proponent to like our growth.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what the conversation is a step further than journaling,
journaling.
because journaling, you're putting it out on paper. It's almost like the paper's receiving you. But these conversations, you put it out and you take it back in.
Okay.
You reread. So
Okay.
it's not like an outlet.
So it's almost like
a
even asking
full
yourself like the hard
conversation.
questions sometimes
Hard
and things like that. That
questions.
most of the time we know the
We
answer
and
to.
we, well, I think
Yeah.
sometimes we don't answer them. Like these
Right.
questions present themselves, and then it's like on repeat. So she is actually problem solving.
Yes.
In a way.
And it helps self-confidence because we always look outwards to answers.
Yeah.
And it's so common that like the more you answer your question yourself, obviously you need to be aware and outsource, but the more you answer it, the more you give yourself empowerment. I'm like, oh, I fucking know this shit.
Right.
Like I have the answers to my life. Like I don't need to go searching for a man or a friend or these things.
Right. Like you said, sometimes it's right there in front of you. If long as you're just willing to just admit it or
Yeah.
or what open up to the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I spin in my head so much sometimes. I'm just like
Yeah.
dizzy sometimes. Like, "Arr."
Yeah, exactly.
like, do you think you overanalyze?
It's not overanalyzing, but I think for me, it's one of those things where it's I just have so many questions and not really doubts, but just so much I want to do or so much that I think I'm not doing. And then it's become
Yes.
self-doubt. I said, oh, sorry, I just did it. I spoke out loud. I've said, no, I don't have doubt. And I said, now it's self-doubt.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
do that. I can spin myself silly sometimes.
It's the downside of ambition.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Ambition is a double-edged sword.
Right.
You know, if
And
you
it's
don't
always there when I'm
regulate
by myself. Like it's like during the day, like now I'm fine, but when I'm by myself, that's when it starts worse. So I should just write them out. Now I'm going to try
should
that.
write 'em out.
Right. And
And
she's
say
right
it
about,
out loud.
But it's right about the journaling because I can journal all day, but she's
No.
right. You're just putting
You're
out
just
the,
leaving it there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't bring it back
Right.
in.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's like a circulation. Like,
I'm a
you
fan
know.
of that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
love
circle
it.
back to myself later today.
You know what I'm saying?
I like it too. Now you inspired me.
Right.
I will
I'm
warn
gonna be
you
having
though.
conversations in the mirror.
Yes.
You're gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you talking
Yes,
to in
myself,
there?" Be like,
bitch,
"I'm talking to myself."
It's the most important person, myself.
If you get a DM
Right?
from me being like, B, I did it today.
Yeah.
I talked to myself. You're like, who the fuck is this guy talking to? So I'm like, no.
You know, the funny thing is, it's so sidetracked, but growing up in the streets, I had this one lady give me the best advice ever. If you ever feel in danger, you know, with people around you, start talking to yourself because nobody wants to mess with a crazy person.
That's very true.
So
Yeah.
she'll just start
So
chatting with
true.
herself.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
Yep.
Man, that's great. Well, I want to know more about, so let's delve into your Survivor. How did you get on Survivor?
Yes.
The 37 seasons. This show's been on for freaking ever, man.
I'm gonna start sometimes I start feeling like people are gonna start thinking I'm making this shit up. But I just think I'm highly favored, you know, by God. But the same day I got the call. So honestly, they recruited me through Instagram.
Okay.
But I was thinking nothing of it. They wanted me to go on The Bachelor. I said, absolutely not. I'm not swapping spit with 20 girls. And I'm not vying for his attention. If you want to circle back at me being the Bachelorette, please do.
Thank you very
so
much.
so I turned it down, and then we talked through this. I love this casting director, but we talked through things, and she was like, oh, challenging physically, mentally is Survivor. You would love it. Then my dad was in the hospital. The same day I got the call that he passed away was the same day the casting director called me, literally on the opposite line, saying, you got the role. Usually people audition for Survivor, but the thing is they recruited me. So it's quite different. Like,
Yeah.
she was like, they want you now. And then the other end was like, he passed away. And so I'm sitting there at the gym, actually, and I just put the phone down. I went and finished my rolls. That's how I deal with
man.
things. I put
Yeah.
it down. I go finish what I'm doing. I come back, and I'm like, what would Dad do? My dad used to buy lottery tickets every day. It would piss us off, right? Because he'd be like, oh, B, there's 9 of us. You get a car. It's like Oprah. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. If I win the lottery, buy us a big house. And by like a couple of years, I'm like, Dad, you know the money you spent on lottery, we would have already bought a house.
Right.
But point being is he's such a dreamer. Such a dreamer. So I was like, damn, Dad would say yes. Hell fucking yes to the show. So I said, I called him back, yes. And then I said, okay, Mom, I'll be there. So funeral, Survivor, out to Fiji.
Wow.
Done in Fiji.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
you-
how was the show for
Oh
you?
man, let me tell you, I was a critic because I'd never been interested in reality shows. Now I'm on 3, but it was the realest thing. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, honestly. One of the hardest things I've ever done. We went through 3 cyclones. Our season was nominated for Emmy because our season was just so hard.
Right.
And it really was a humbling moment for me because all that I've been through, you know, we go on podcasts where you guys ask about my life. People are so interested in me. I'm talking about being a badass. So I go in there and I'm like, I'm a badass. I can do this. And you have these doctors, these robotic scientists. You have these tech people who are tougher than me in half of these situations. And then I realized I was like, tough is not like a thing we are. It's how much we want something. These people were fans of Survivor since their first season. They've been auditioning for 10 years. So it wasn't that I was tougher. They wanted it more.
Right.
At the end of the day, you're not tougher than anyone. They just didn't want it as much as you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to thrive more than most people, so that's why I'm tough. Them, I was there. It was freezing. And I was like, why the fuck am I on this show? Freezing. I could be doing something else, you know? And like, a lot of fans give me slack for it, but I've always been an honest person. I'll always be honest. So I was on here just respecting the people next to me. A skinny girl, no athleticism, whatever. And she's like, she got pneumonia and she was just toughing through
Dealing with it.
And I just had so much respect. And I was like, oh, you know, this is great. It was hard.
Right.
Needless
Yeah.
to say,
Can
I
only
tore
imagine.
I tore my MCL, retore it because I had already torn it, and then so I left the show.
Oh man. Okay. So you didn't get your full potential on there.
How many weeks were you out there, or how long were you out there?
So the whole filming is 5 weeks.
5
I
weeks.
was only there for 14 days. That's how early I got
2
injured.
weeks, but
yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was, and I wasn't getting voted out, so this kind of sucks. Like, you know, I wasn't like close to being done, and I was right by the merge where they do individual challenges, which I probably would have killed.
Yes.
But again, I don't know. These people are like really wanting it, but yeah. So
Okay.
that was the Survivor experience. It was really cool, and on the island, butterflies were following me everywhere.
Wow.
And I was
That'd
like,
be amazing.
That's
Just
gotta
for
be
the
Dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Just for the
I
location
think so.
itself.
That's
I
gotta
think
be
so.
dad. It was literally I'll sit on the beach and it would just be butterfly, 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 butterfly.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Got your back.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
your
love
dad
that.
sounds amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Just
I
like,
always have, I know this sounds so crazy, but butterflies on the range. So they
Really?
always like find me and
Yeah.
people are like, there's never butterflies
Right.
on
Yes.
the
Well,
gun
because
range.
it's so out there too. That's why I
But
would
they
never.
always
That's
like
great.
they always
That's
find
amazing.
me. Like one time I'm gonna send the video, Travis. I got up and they're like load and make ready. And there was like a big thing of butterflies. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was just like, oh, it's so cool. And everyone's like, what the fuck?
That's
But
crazy.
sometimes it'll be like, one or two.
Yeah.
But this was like a whole little, really.
It's not.
Unbelievable.
It's
I think
not-
they're so magical. And the guy that I was dating at the time, he was like, whenever I see a butterfly, I feel like it's my brother because it's Joe's brother. He had passed away.
Wow. Right.
So I'm like, oh, your brother was on the range with me today.
Very symbolic. Very symbolic. So, yeah.
That's incredible. I would love to
Incredible.
witness that.
Yeah.
I don't get any butterflies around me.
Damn.
Wow.
Just get gnats and shit. What the hell, man?
Have some more conversations with
Mosquitoes.
yourself.
I
and
mean,
maybe
I
they'll
think
come.
I will. I'm going to put it out there now. I want more butterflies.
That's one of the questions in this conversation is why aren't there butterflies?
Yeah.
around?
I do get a lot of bees around me, and you're a bee. I do, because I mean, I'm on the tennis court, so bees are attracted to tennis courts for me. So there's
They
tons
are?
of bees all the
I
time.
actually want to learn how to play tennis. If you guys know anyone, in
He's
Vegas.
a tennis pro.
I need a bee.
Oh
I
my
tell you,
God, let's
bees always
do it.
around me.
Yeah.
So this
I'll
is my
show
own
you how to
personal
choke a
butterfly.
motherfucker out.
I need
Oh
that.
my gosh.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'll step on someone, but I don't know if I'll choke someone out though. But I want to learn.
Stepping doesn't do anything.
I know, but it's just saying, bee. God, girl.
Stepping doesn't do anything.
Do you think if you were like dating someone and they got aggressive, would you be able to get away?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant sexually. I'm just
No,
I'm just
but-
asking. You said
no,
that. I mean,
absolutely. But sexually also, like we take backs, like we clamp our knees a lot, and we
Right.
like grab and pull. I had this one guy once where we were having sex, and I clamped him down. You know, it's like normal for people, but I was extra strong in this position. So like, and also, like during sex, sometimes you communicate. You're like, don't leave, or like come closer, or whatever. I'm just like,
that push and pull.
She doesn't even have to use her words. She just uses her body.
yeah, if I like want you off me or come closer, it's gonna happen.
God.
So
See, that's what I thought you were
Oh my
talking about.
gosh.
Because I mean, I'm such a guy. When you say aggressive, I think sex. Because I don't have aggression, and so for me, I was like, oh, sexually, yeah, that's amazing. Like, what do you do? Like let's.
Well,
squirt,
maybe
like,
I'm
let's
going to need a
scrum.
session too then.
yeah, girl.
Oh my God. So where's your family like now? I know you said a lot, possibly are all over. I'm sure now.
All over. We kind of just incredibly ambitious women, but you know how life you always circle back to family. So
Okay.
we moved all over: Hong Kong, Colorado, Alaska, me in Houston, Paris, Poland. But we all ended up. We're all near. My mom's in Oceanside,
Okay.
California, and now all of my sisters are moving back there, and I'm in Vegas because I can't afford California yet.
Unless she wants to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Write
She
it down,
doesn't.
B. Write it down.
Yeah, exactly. No, I want to buy near my mom, and it's
Okay.
incredibly expensive in San Diego right now.
Mm-hmm.
But all of my sisters are circling back there, so
Okay.
that's where we're all here in West Coast.
It's funny on how like you want to, when you get to a certain age in your life, you just want to just go away and just be away and just,
Yeah.
thrive on your own. But
Yeah.
for some reason, you just kind of
Everyone
circle
kind of
back.
comes back.
Yeah, because you realize, like you go look for who you are, and then you realize who you are is right here.
Right.
You know? I think there's this one quote I always used when I was younger. I ran away from my problems a lot just because I didn't really have coping skills, right? So one of the quotes that really sat me down was, "Wherever you go, that's where you are."
Yeah.
And that's it. I love
They
that
said, I
quote.
think that sounds like home is where you lay
your heart
where your heart is or hat or something.
Yeah.
Hat or heart.
Well, I feel the same because I live out of a suitcase,
Yeah.
so I'm always all over, and people are always like, "Don't you ever just miss being home?"
Yeah.
But I was always in the mindset is like, no, home is like where my heart is, and right now my
Right.
heart is here, and this is where I want to be. This is my
Right.
home.
Right.
So I've kind of looked at every little space as a home.
Yeah.
But then, as her and I were talking before the show, there's something in me right now that really wants to like stay put.
Same.
So I've been all over the place that now I'm looking forward to kind of like the slow down, and
Yeah.
I've started
Yeah.
saying no to where
Okay.
before I was like a yes ma'am. So it was always
Okay.
like yes, yes, yes. And now I'm starting to like no,
Okay.
no, because I'm really enjoying like my time here.
Calibrating.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Right.
need time
You
to
had said
calibrate.
that earlier, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it's not really home. Obviously, like I feel like you too. When I was traveling, I felt fine. I didn't feel lost. So like, it's not a home thing; it's a roots thing.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to plant my roots and recalibrate real quick. Especially when you have so many questions in your life, it's not like you can't solve them all at once. It's really not the questions are the problem. It's you. And then so I think we both need a recalibration.
Yeah.
Do you both feel like you know, I was off that. I was thinking like a fueling situation. You know, like you just feel like you just run out or tapped out in a way to where you need to. What you're talking about the calibration. I feel like are you feeling like you're just like, okay, I just don't have enough to just get that energy back, because we all need a fire to burn in order to continue on a path. Like you traveling and doing what you're doing, you especially for what you're doing.
I think that the older you get, I think women or just people like us who are ambitious, we train our brain to not listen to our body. So like if something happens, I'm like, let's go. What else
I'm
we
the
need?
same way.
Let's go,
I
let's
can't
go.
slow down or stop.
Okay.
Right. But I learned recently, this is the first time it's ever happened to me. The last camp, I never told anyone actually. I was like breaking down crying once a week, just full of depression.
Okay.
Couldn't get out of bed. And I've never been like that before, ever. And I had no answer for it. And I didn't know why. And I realized because I didn't have roots, I was tired. I was burning at both ends. And so my body was literally telling me, like, chick, like, we can't do this for you anymore. And so now this is the next evolution of me, is collaborating with my body and with my mind, you know, like you can't, like, we're just running them dry. Like, you know, you work so much and
So you're learning how to check in with yourself more on that aspect now.
physically.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've always been good mentally, but physically now I'm like, there's like chemicals, you know, like I
They
can't.
say everything's intertwined. So
Right.
like even for instance, my eye. I have a freaking sty in my eye. But so I was in Hawaii when it first started, but then I was like, fuck it, I want to get my shoot done, so I don't care. So I'm like, oh, like makeup, get my work done. And then I had a video shoot. I'm like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't do the commercial because my eye's jacked up. No, we can sidetrack. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get it done. Then it was like here, and then so I haven't taken the time to respect my body. So I feel like my body is not respecting me back.
Yeah.
And then now it's like my shoulder. So in PT, they're like, do you have any injury? But I think it's like emotional. So it's like my body's way of saying like, hey, you're doing a little too much and you need to like reel it back in.
Yeah.
So you can
But
give her this
there's
advice.
something inside of me sometimes that I just can't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can give her this
same.
advice because in the car, she had literally said off of this note, she goes, you know, maybe I should take 5 days off or something. Like she's contemplating, but it's not fully set in yet because you know you have stuff to do. But
Right.
she literally was like, maybe I should take 5 days off. And
Well, that's what happens when you're ambitious, is like, or
But
a
I
hard
don't want
worker.
to.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing, is like the biggest balance that goes like in my journal over and over again is the balance between self-accountability and self-compassion. And I think our self-accountability is so great, but our compassion is so low. So like learning how to balance it back and forth is really
but you mean
important.
compassion for your own self,
Yes,
though, right?
self-compassion.
I can see
Just
that.
like
Yeah.
it's okay, like
Yeah.
it's fine. Just like
Okay.
even you, when you're
No,
like uncertain, like, am I doing enough? Am I doing
Yeah.
enough? You know, you gotta have a balance of like smelling the roses.
This is
and-
what my girlfriend and I were talking about, the same thing, but in a different same situation.
Right.
Like the other day, like 2 days ago, I was like, she goes, Chris, you know, you don't have to play so much tennis anymore. And I'm like, but that's what I do. And that's, you know, and that's how I make my money. But and it's like, and she goes, you don't have to, is what I'm saying. We're fine. You know, we're fine. You don't have, go explore your influences, go explore this. And I'm like, but I can do it all. I can still do it. And she goes, take time out so you can focus on the next step in your life.
Right.
And I don't know how to do it. So listen to you girls. It's like, I need to write it out,
Yeah.
talk to myself,
Yeah.
burn it up.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. So
Yeah, or
do it
you know,
all.
You're blessed with a partner. So like I'm single, so I have to have these conversations with myself, but hearing yourself, but also hearing her too. You know, you have like another person really honestly having that conversation with you.
Well, when I hear it 3 times, you know, like, especially like, you know, like you said, when you all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're in it and you hear it over and over, it's like, I am the one who actually goes, I need to listen to that. You know,
Clearly,
yeah.
like the universe is sending you a sign. You're not listening.
Wow.
But you know what you need to do. You're just not doing
I
it.
know, that's the
So,
thing. Yeah.
Partner. Do you want to partner?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I've been like, I'm quite private. This is the most private thing of my life, is my dating life, but I date a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
I have.
Yeah, do tell.
I've had
Yeah,
two.
we're all like,
Yeah, I've had two short relationships recently, and
what is short?
like 4 months, 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah, but commitment. I date a lot because
Okay.
I'm not a quitter, and I'm not ever jaded. Like I never think that things are happening to me or the guy's bad. I don't do those things.
Yeah.
I'm just like whatever, on to the next. So I date a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was like the turning factor? Like, how do you identify to move on? Like, it's been 4 months. Like, what happens?
So for me, I value I listen to myself well. So when things don't feel right, I'm okay with leaving it. But I have also these accountability conversations, which are like, are you scared?
Are you
is
quitting?
it self-sabotage?
Yes.
Or is it really not working? So I honestly look at myself. I think about those things,
Okay.
and it just didn't work out, which is fine. It has yet to work out. But one thing I do think I think everything is a skill, right? And one thing I have no practice with is sharing my life with somebody. I've been
Okay.
alone and like working hard all my life. So like, let's say I have to go to New York for a shoot. I forget to tell the person, like, wait, I have to tell you that I'm heading to New York. Not in permission, but
Of
even
course. Yeah,
sharing.
right.
I'm like, holy shit, there's a whole nother person right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. And which is nothing wrong with that as long as they communicate that
It's
back with
kind
you.
of a
and
lot
you,
of work though,
Right.
sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I don't want to check in. Like, I don't
Right.
want to sit on the phone with you all day.
Right.
Like, I
But
don't
it
have
doesn't
time.
have to be work if you're with the right person. Is what I'm
Right.
getting
That's
at.
what I'm looking
that's,
for.
Okay.
That's what I was getting at. We know,
Yeah.
like for you especially, but in your case as well, it's like you checking in. It's that person going, hey,
Right.
let me know, and then
Right.
it just becomes
Right.
habitual if you really want to be with that person. And all of a
Right.
sudden, it's not really something you forget anymore. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, my girlfriend's a doctor. I mean, there's
Yeah.
moments I'm like, you got to let me know what your week schedule's like.
Do you
Yeah.
feel like you have a type?
Mm-hmm.
Or
I do.
okay,
I do have a type.
Describe your type if you don't mind.
My type is.
I'm visualizing here.
Yeah, visualize. All right. I love melanin. So it's like physically, I'm attracted to like, I don't know, Latin, Filipino, black men, like just melanin. Don't care about the height. I used to. That was immature. That's physical.
Okay.
Intellectual. If I'm not intellectually
Yes.
stimulated, I will be a bad version of myself and
'Cause you get
patronize
bored.
you, or I'll
Yeah.
patronize you and I boss you around. Like I'm an alpha female, and I need somebody to bring out the better part of me,
Right.
not the
Who can
worst
go
part.
toe to toe with you, basically.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Call you on your shit.
And then somebody who obviously is, and he doesn't have to be so self-aware, but somebody who is active in self-growth is important to me.
Right.
Like if you ever say like, this is me, accept it, oh, I will run.
That's a dead end.
I'll run
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the fucking moon. Yeah, like
Right.
those are the things. But honestly, it's very open because I'm like all connection.
What made you change your mind on the height thing? Because sometimes I get stuck on that.
Yeah. So I used to love tall men.
Shut up. Don't look at me like that.
Yeah.
I love like tall men because I feel like I'm tall.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm with someone like that's a little smaller, I feel it makes me feel big and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's just life did it. It's like no actual reason. Okay, so I always dated taller men because like I feel like I'm gonna escalate, even though I know I'm like a fucking like Lexus Pinto or something. But I feel like a big body G wagon. That's my energy.
Right.
So I want to
Yeah.
like look up to you. I don't want to look you dead in the eye. This is what
Got
I
it.
thought.
Girl, you're no
Yes.
Pinto. Let's say that for sure.
Yeah,
All
you're
right, so
not.
just scrap that one.
But yeah, so I dated a lot of tall men, NBA players. I've dated like tall men. But then the ones I've really connected with randomly that come out of nowhere have always been like 5'9", 5'10",
Okay.
5'11". And so I'm like, you know what? This is the world telling me like, just not that I'm going for short men anymore, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it really doesn't matter. And girl, you're 4'11", get a grip. You know what I mean? Like I'm 5 feet, like get a fucking grip. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's really what it was. It was just like, it was time. It was like, whoa, I just realized all the guys I've actually liked are like 5'10".
Got it.
Oh.
Still a big differential, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
matches up. And this way you can wear heels and feel like,
But you don't understand my delusion. It was like, I dated a guy that like played, for a team here, and he was 6'7", I think.
Holy shit.
6'6",
Yeah.
7.
Okay. Wow.
It was
I mean,
ridiculous.
Was it fun though?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, could he just swoop you up?
Yeah, I mean, And the big thing was I couldn't swoop him up. That was a big keynote, you know? Like if I could like swoop you up or like hurt you accidentally, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. See, that's how I feel. Like I roll over on
Yeah.
someone that's like, you know,
Flat him out.
5'8" and I don't know. Like I
No,
could
but
like
he
the
could be
spider legs.
He could be 5'8" with a good grip, you know? It's all
Yeah.
right.
That's
5'8" is
true.
short for you though, yeah.
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 Like 5'8".
And when I was saying tall to short, I meant like still super tall.
Yeah.
So like how tall are you?
5'8".
Yeah, so I would think like 6 feet.
I think like, yeah, I love 6'4".
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel uncomfortable with someone under 6 feet, but the last couple guys I've dated have been under 6 feet.
Oh,
so then
really?
I have to like I love tall shoes.
Right.
So I'm like wearing these little kitten heels and I'm
Right.
like, I kind of like pout about it.
Yeah,
Like,
but you know what? I think like when there are like flaws, or you think they're flaws, if they're great enough to make you forget about it, that's when you know it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But if you
that's
still
true.
remember it and you're still looking at him like, hello, like down
Yeah.
there, then he's not great enough for you to forget about it.
Yeah.
But we also, right, this
You
is
have a
very true.
point.
This is very, she's right on about that. That's a good one. I also feel like sometimes we just have to let it go, like you
or
said.
maybe I'm self-sabotaging, like she said. So I'm really not ready to be in a relationship.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true too. You need time to find yourself, you
Yeah.
know, and to fix your eye.
Fuck
So
off.
I'm just saying, you talked about it. I'm just,
My
you know, we have to like, you have to take some time out for yourself. We all
True.
need time out for ourselves. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
for
we're
sure.
gonna spend some time with B. We're gonna take her time out. We're gonna stay with you and take some time out. So where are we going? We're gonna go somewhere and take some.
you're
time
gonna
out
hang
together.
out with me?
Yeah, we're gonna all take some time out together.
Oh,
He's going to teach you how to play tennis.
okay. Yeah, that
and then
for
you
sure.
can teach me how to talk to myself
Yeah.
as well. And
And then you can teach me how to throw my men around.
Oh, you
in
know what?
bed.
I was gonna ask you actually. I
that.
was gonna text you privately. I mean, but we're here anyway.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's just let the world know.
Yeah, I want to get a gun.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I want like I don't know which one I would get, but I want to get a gun.
So we'll take you to range 702, which is my
Okay.
sponsored
Well, John was
range.
actually gonna take me there.
I'm going to take you.
Yeah.
Which I love John. Like so I'm going to take you to range 702. Chris manages it, so she's another female. I don't like shooting with people, so we'll have like our own area, and then I'm going to bring a variety for you to shoot, so we can see what you feel comfortable with, and then we'll go from there.
I think you'd be good at it.
Deadly girl date is my thing.
Yes.
Deadly
And
girl
then
date.
we'll get you like squared away, have something for home defense, conceal carry. We can get you your license as well,
Yay.
so you can carry and travel.
Yeah, I would love that.
Are you
Nice.
gonna go to his range day on Sunday?
Oh, I didn't hear about it yet.
I'm
Well,
gonna
but nobody invited me because I'm not like into gun. Well,
Yeah.
I haven't been. So like I don't think any of the friends thought to invite me.
So it's I think it's kind of a UFC range day, so
Okay.
it's like private. But
Okay.
I'm gonna have I'll send you an invite.
okay.
So I think I'm gonna go on Sunday, so you're welcome to ride with me, and I think Cody is gonna go as well. So there'll probably be a lot of
My
females,
friends,
and
yeah,
your
awesome.
friends will be there that you know.
Yeah, amazing.
I think you'd love
Thanks.
it. Yeah, for
so-
sure.
I would love that.
And then we'll link our schedules and do like a private one-on-one.
cool.
Yeah.
Good luck with her. She's a tough one out there, this one.
I like it.
Yeah, she's got her stuff down. You
I
do have
like
your stuff
it.
down. Don't downplay yourself. I've seen every video. I'm like, it's impressive. That's all I'm saying. It's super. Anyone who can hold a gun, man or woman, I'm like, it's impressive to me in the way that because it's a skill. You know,
Yeah.
you just can't go out there like you said. A couple people thought that they could go out there and just shoot like yahoos. It's
Yeah.
like no, it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
love watching those people though. It's typically like so I don't train a lot of males because the ego messes them up, and then they want to show me what they can do,
Right.
and then
Oh yeah, same at the gym.
I'm
Okay.
like,
But I kind of go for it.
oh, I
Right,
love it.
right.
I love it because then I'm like, okay, well now let me show you what I can do.
Right.
So,
Right.
and then I'm like, are you ready to listen now?
Yeah.
Because you just shot like 5 over there. But if you listen to me, then your group's going to be like this.
Yeah. I just got so attracted to you, and I'm not even like I'm straight.
Right?
Super straight. And I was like, all right,
So,
let's do it.
yeah.
Oh my God, this is a good match
good.
right here, you two. I think you should hang out more and stuff
I
as
like
well.
it. I love it. Yeah.
Do you like being in Vegas?
I just got here, so I
Okay.
don't know. I've
Okay.
done camps here, which makes me hate it because I can't eat.
Okay.
I can't drink.
Oh, so
I'm
you
like-
look at it differently because it's more when you're here
Differently.
for training. It's a different
Right.
mindset.
But now I get to enjoy myself, and what I love about it is I'm not a fan of the Strip, and there's so much more to Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see, like
Right.
the other side of Vegas, and the people here. So
Okay.
I love it. And it's mostly ambitious people here, huh?
I
Because
think
it's a
so.
desert. People come here for their work. People come here to advance in whatever they're doing. So it's like, it's really inspiring to be here.
Yeah, I'm discovering that more
I
and more
think
as
it's
well.
a very like transit town. And I
Yeah.
always say if you have like an addictive personality, this is not the town for you because
Right.
it'll literally chew you up and spit you out.
Right.
So it's tends to be the people that are a little more like self-sufficient, like motivated,
Independent.
that will survive in this town. Because
Yeah.
if not, then
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
in big
yeah.
fucking trouble. Like I say, those casinos, they're not built on winners. That's for damn sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
That's for damn for sure. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, so I've recently got on this dating app. Oh, this is gonna be bad. It's gonna get.
no, this is so great.
Oh my god! So I just got on Hinge, and so this is what happened to me. I tried to sign in. I tried to sign into Bumble once, and I was banned for identity fraud because there's so many people stealing my name and pictures.
holy shit.
Yeah, and I definitely can't do Tinder because there's so many fake profiles of me
Yeah.
on there. And there's this one dating app called Raya, which is like kind of like almost a celebrity
Okay.
dating app, which is ridiculous and makes me feel quite pretentious. But it is safe for us.
Right.
Like,
Do you have to
nobody's
get
on-
invited to that one though?
Yeah,
I always
so
feel like those are
only
invite ones.
7% get approved.
Okay. Wow.
And I've
Jeez.
invited a lot of my girls who are like decent, good women,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter. Like if you don't have, or if you're not in the industry some way, or like an or not an influencer, but like
Right.
in
Like-minded.
Celebrity status.
Right.
celebrity
Like-minded, right?
status,
Mhm.
like where you need protection, then you don't get invited. But I do like Hinge right now because it makes me feel like I don't want to meet celebrities. You know,
Yeah.
like I want to
Yeah.
meet.
What about a matchmaker? Would you do a matchmaker?
But wouldn't they only know people that seek matchmakers?
So for girls, like especially for you, because I've had a few matchmakers on the show, and literally like they work more for you than you would think.
Yes.
And because there's people that pay, and like even for you, if you
So
pay,
it's serious dates. It cuts out all the bullshit, and it's not a waste of your time.
Right.
So you get to vet the men pretty much before you agree to the date.
Yeah.
So the matchmaker is literally working for you. So you you meet with her like on FaceTime or whatever. She kind of gets to know you, and she'll match you with men and kind of send you their photos and their profiles, and then you can say yes,
But
I
how
want
does
to go
she
on a date
meet
with
these
him
men?
because they pay to be with the matchmaker.
yeah.
So
So-
these are all men that are serious about finding a partner.
And it's rare that a woman, they usually say more men sign up for matchmakers than women do, because women can just go into the pool of their matchmaking, which is still a win-win.
Yeah, but I drown in that pool. I don't,
But
you know.
But here's the deal. But I'm getting at it. But if
pool.
you paid for it though
Yeah.
yourself, now you're on a different echelon
Yeah. So I'm
tier.
sitting at
But
the
you don't
cabana.
even you don't even
Exactly.
have to you don't even have to pay.
Right,
Like
that's what I
these
mean, though.
matchmakers
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
literally take you on and find you matches.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that might be a good fit for you.
Okay, I'll give that a shot if you
Yeah.
can connect me.
Yeah.
I think you're a win-win no matter what.
Yeah,
so I don't know
for-
what, so I don't know
for
what the
real.
problem is. So
Thanks.
you know, maybe you
Unless
need
they
to,
like tall girls. That's,
No, there's some
change that.
you know, there's some guys that prefer they don't want taller women.
oh, okay.
So
I like
think that-
tall women.
I'm
but I'll
actually
sit next to you any day, honey.
I'm really
So,
excited. I'm
yeah.
sending you one right now.
Yeah, I think you're a win-win no matter what. So that's why,
Yeah.
like you said, just like I'm kind of curious still on those last two guys
Yeah.
you were dating and
Yeah.
stuff too. It didn't end. It just kind of ran its course. It seems like
Right,
correct?
and yeah, and it's just like it didn't work out
Okay.
because and I'm a big proponent on like no, I'm not a big right or wrong person at all.
I'm not either.
I'm just like I'm moving and I'm choosing and I choose not to or I choose to. There was one guy that lied to me and he was like literally had a girlfriend the whole time.
What?
And my girlfriend was like, and he's actually like, well, like we're both in the same circle. So my girlfriend was actually like, oh, he's shit. Like I hate him. But I'm like, no, I don't hate him. I just found out to what capacity he can love and I chose not to
Right.
to engage in it. So like in that narrative, it's kind of like I'm empowered of choosing instead of being fucked over. You know what I mean?
I like that mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
because then
too.
it gives me I have like zero resentment. I literally think I don't have resentment in my life. Like I don't hate or get mad at anyone because I'm like I choose to not.
I
fuck
feel
with
like I'm along the same lines.
Yeah.
I call it indifference.
Mm-hmm.
you. Yeah.
It's not like, and it's such a beautiful space to be in because you're just indifferent.
Right.
It's not.
And you're missing out on a lot of things when you start thinking
Right.
that way.
Yeah.
You miss
And-
out on so much.
And you get insecure.
a lot of
Because
the
if
time.
things happen to you and if they were wrong or you were right and you were wrong and they were right, where do you belong in that? What did you do wrong? What can you change? But if you just feel like, okay, indifference and I'm just moving on, there's something else for me and they'll
Yeah.
find something, then you don't question yourself so much. It's super.
B just gave some dating intelligence.
I know.
That's awesome. We're taking
That's
that
gold.
quote. Yeah, that's my new intro. With her voice behind the
You're
intro.
gonna have to pay for that.
You just lip sync like the TikToks.
like-
of-
Exactly, right? Like, damn, Chris is on spot today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
good.
That's like
very
that
well said.
that B-roll that you cut out and put on like Instagram, right?
Yep.
That's so great.
funny.
Do you do any of that, by the way? Do you keep up with all your social media?
I do. I actually, if anyone is listening, I'm locked out of my Instagram right now, and I
Okay.
don't know why. I think people are trying. I'm hacked on Twitter, locked out of my Instagram, and I have my show premiering, and I can't even promote it.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So
Did you contact the person that I sent you for your account?
You sent me a person.
Yeah. Damn. I did.
I didn't.
Okay. Because
I
he can
will.
get your account back. There's 2 people that I know.
Okay, let me do that.
Okay.
Okay.
That
so-
sucks. I'm sorry to hear
Or
that.
yeah, I think
So-
I texted you. One is his name is Sean.
I almost didn't go on the podcast because I was contacting her on
Who
Instagram.
Okay.
who got a hold of me for you?
Eric.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He's so
Yeah.
nice. He's
I
such a
love
great
him.
guy.
I love
Yeah.
him so much. That's why I came to Vegas. Just Eddie Baracco and Eric Nixick.
Nixick.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's a lot of skilled coaches in the world. There's a lot of people that could do a lot of things. There's a lot of podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
hosts, you know. So I go for good people.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here. We
Yes.
love having you.
I
So
feel
for
special.
sure. Yeah.
I really want to see you. I would love to see you if you feel like it's in your future, but to fight and see Eric in your corner. Because he
So-
really talked you up.
We do have plans in that. That's why I'm not retiring. I'm still in because after I'm done with my contract, however long it goes, we don't know the future, but I definitely want to do fights here
Okay.
at home with my fans, and like people haven't been able to see me live, and the coaches that couldn't come my whole career.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something. It's
Okay.
not the end of Killer Bee yet.
That's
It's just, you know,
I feel
she's
like it's just the beginning.
she's
Yeah.
just blooming a little bit.
So I just heard something. So what I'm hearing is that you can only sign one contract and be in one situation. Like
It-
you can't do something here.
It depends on the contract.
Okay.
So there's some that like have out clauses. So like the smaller promotions would have out clause. So one FC, one championship, or UFC. It gives
Okay.
them the young fighters like a chance. If you get signed by the big people, you can go.
Okay.
There's some stingy ones that hold you, but for sure when you get to the big ones, you have
Like,
to.
what are some of the big ones for those
So,
that don't know?
For me, the biggest one, if you live in America or the States, the biggest one is UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And for a lot of the world, the biggest one is UFC. But then you have one championship who Americans don't really see as a huge one, but we have the same amount of viewership than as UFC,
Okay.
and the same amount of network and things like that. And then you also have Bellator
Okay.
Okay.
is a big one.
The
And then-
Gracies, right?
yeah, what's great is that there's more coming up competitively for UFC, which I love because the sport's growing, like Eagle FC. You have Icon Fighting. So for me, it's huge. You're looking at a huge shift in MMA
Yeah.
right now because for young fighters, it's always be all end all was UFC. And if you didn't make it, you're like, shit, that's it. That's it. Now I gotta
Right.
go do flooring or like carpentry or something, you know?
Right.
But now they have so many options with these
Okay.
promotions paying more.
If I may ask, how do you decide and choose? Like, is it just because one? Sometimes people choose because the opportunity. That's the only opportunity they get. I'm sure.
Right.
But others, how do you? If it's that many now,
It
what's-
depends on you. If you're a hot commodity and you have all these choices, for me as a manager, I would always opt for my fighter to go where their stock is the highest.
Okay.
Because you people tend to think who's of their stock. Oh, UFC's the highest, so I'm gonna go.
Of course,
But
yeah.
then you become like a low tier fighter, getting paid way less. When they get opportunities, the bigger fighters get it, and not you. Then you go. If you think about where your stock would be the highest, is probably in all business. I think.
Yeah.
Go where your stock is the highest. You know, even if it's YouTube, instead of going to MTV, where MTV is gonna show you one little bit, and you have your own
Right.
YouTube or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
I think go where you're valued. Obviously, like just. Even in life, go where you're celebrated, and that's why I went over to one.
That's great.
I love it.
Yeah, you seem to really excited about it and like it. But contract wise, it's a year. You said how many years is that?
No, it's usually so some structure it with time,
Okay.
which I think is very smart for also young fighters because if you structure it just with fights, like say you sign 4 fights.
That's what I wanted
3
to know.
fights.
Mhm.
They can. There's no time clause. They can drag it
Oh,
out. I'm
wow.
giving
Yeah.
young fighters gold right now, but they can drag out. Sorry, promoters. They can drag out these contracts, like fight you once a year. Then you're stuck for 3 years, and they can use your likeness the entire time because this is
Wow.
what us athletes, until we have a union or whatever, us athletes sign away our likeness to them. So they make money off you even if
Okay.
you fight once a year. But if you have a time clause, then let's say you don't fight me in three times that year or that 2 years, then I can opt out.
And this is why you do the
Oh.
agency stuff now too. to
Yeah,
help those
I've
people.
bumped my heads a lot of times, and especially with the young girls. They're all the power to the women that make money the way they do and get sponsors or whatever avenue they want to do and is comfortable with.
Good.
What I'm advocating for is if you're not comfortable with, I will work harder to find other creative avenues for you to make money.
I have no doubt that she can
I
do
love
it,
that.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one with the little chip on her shoulder, she can take you places.
So at the end of this, at the end of your contract with one, would you be a free agent?
I would be a free agent.
Okay.
And yeah, although my record has suffered over the last year, I think again stock is still high in a sense of commercial and skill. So I think I would probably get offers, but who knows by then if I want to just help
Yeah.
others.
I think that you're going to get a lot of offers.
Oh, I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you. It would be nice just to, even if I don't go that route, it'd be nice to see the value in what you've been doing,
Right.
the work
Right.
that you've
Right.
been putting out there.
Well,
So,
that's the most value right there because, like, I mean, you've worked so hard to get to a certain point in your life, and
Right.
now at the end of this as well. I
Right.
mean, we all would want to know, even if you
Right.
said I'm going to
Right.
retire, but you still kind of want to know.
Yeah.
So I hear you on that.
But the tough thing is that I think a lot of young fighters, or even long time fighters, put all their value into their fighting. Everything you are is how well you fight,
Yeah.
and that's dangerous, because things might not work out. So you need to make sure you value yourself as a friend, as a influencer, as
Okay.
a sister, or whatever. I don't know. I just inserted it in there because I think that's the biggest problem these fighters have, these athletes have, is when their careers run its course, they're sitting there with there's nothing left because I put all my value into my sport. So I'm just
So diversification is
Yeah.
key.
yeah.
Which is what I was going to ask you earlier. What do you do so we talked about what your day is like, but what is your like hobby? Like, what do you like to do on the outside? Give us the silliest one, by the way. Like, do you knit or something weird like that?
No, I don't knit.
Do you
but
knit?
I just want to know.
I used to be a dancer when I was
Okay,
young. Yeah,
all
I've
right.
done some professional dance gigs. So I found out that my old dance team now is in there's a Vegas, I mean like 20 years ago, so they don't remember me, so don't quote me on that. But Millennium Las Vegas, I just joined, so I'm excited about going
that's
back
great.
to dancing.
Good for you. Yeah.
And I want to do those sexy heel dance classes.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Have you seen them?
Oh my God, I have a girl. I'm gonna send you two too. With the matchmaker.
Yes.
But yeah, there's two, and there's actually one that teaches in LA. She's amazing.
You're better than LinkedIn. I just want you to know that. You are linked.
So I'm gonna
you.
send you. Well, I can't send you their Instagrams. Have you started a backup just to have, so you can at least get on
Well, yeah, I have my business ones.
on IG?
Yeah, and so I can see that no one's hacked mine. Like nothing's happening to it. I
Okay.
just can't get into it. I just can't reset.
Oh, okay. So send me one of your business ones so you
you
can
can
at least view these
Oh,
two
yeah,
profiles.
definitely.
And then I'm also going to send you, well, then if you're just locked out, then I'm going to send you Sean's contact because he'll
Okay.
be able to get you squared away.
Amazing. I need that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All
Yeah.
right.
So,
Anything else? This killer bee over here?
I mean, I have a lot. I could
Yeah.
keep
I
her here all
know.
day.
You are phenomenal.
But I'm
by the
so
way.
grateful for your
Yeah,
time. I'm so
definitely
glad
so.
that we were
Mhm.
able to like get you in the
course.
studio. And I feel like we need to do like a part 2 after
For
we
sure.
get you in the
Yeah.
range
We can
and your tennis lesson.
we can dive
Yay.
into dating a little more. I'll let you know how the Vegas scene is.
Okay, I heard that's
Yeah.
a crapshoot in itself. So
No, I
that's
heard
why you
it's-
definitely need a matchmaker for that.
It's yeah.
for sure.
I think I
So-
do. For
I never
Vegas.
date in city, which I was telling Christopher is I never have really dated. I always date long distance.
Me too. But now that I'm staying put, I don't know.
So
how-
I just recently went out on a date with someone that is here. I think he might be at your
Right.
gym.
Yeah, and that's rare for her, by the way, too. Oh, now B's going to be there. Do you know Jamie Villamore? Do you know Jamie Villamore?
So yeah, so we'll see, but it's definitely a little different for me. So I don't know yet.
Different's good.
Yeah,
All right.
it
Well,
is.
we're going to put you in the hot seat and then continue us
Okay.
on the dating path here. We
All right,
have a
let's do
question of
it.
the day for you, okay?
All right.
All right. So, hey guys, love the show and think your chemistry is a perfect fit. Thank you both for always being so open and candid about your own lives. Not easy to share about some of the topics you guys talk about, but gives me hope to be more open to my partner. So, off that note, my partner and I have been together for 7 years and we don't really have the same like interests. We tolerate each other's interests because we love each other. But how do you tell the person that you're with that you want to go to Europe by yourself for a few weeks without them to explore on your own, without having them feel excluded or hurt? That's a new one. Yeah.
I think this is a perfect one for you.
Really, I think before you, for me personally, before I even propose what I want, I would explore seeing if that's something they would want. Like,
Okay.
do you feel this way? Do you feel like you want to do something on your own? Because I feel like people would give you more grace if they relate to it themselves. You know, so like maybe he's never asked himself that question, like, do I want space? Because he's so used to tolerating the other person, the other person's hobby. So maybe explore that. I would start with like, how do you feel? See where he's sitting at first, and then that way it kind of puts people's guards down, feeling included, so that you can express how you feel and what you need.
And then once again, him having a choice.
Right. But that's pretty scary, I think, to me, because the answer is not just telling of the trip or the space. You're gonna be answering more questions than can I go to Europe. You're gonna be answering questions like, is this a codependent relationship? Is he gonna give me space? Like how are we gonna deal with this for the rest of our lives? Is he selfish? Is he thinking of me? Like there's gonna be a lot of questions that's gonna
right.
open up with this conversation.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I love her analytical mind. It's so deep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it's very true. I think a lot of people take things like surface, but like she said, there's
More underneath it all.
a lot
Okay, so what do you think
underneath
then?
it all. This is probably why I'm single, but I mean, I would go because I just I think I'm in a space in my life where I'm not like holding back. So if there's something that I want to do, then someone needs to be like on board with me and support that aspect of me. Granted, there's we need a compromise, but I'm not gonna give up on things that I want to do to appease my partner, because
Right.
that's not really a partnership.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
we're talking about an ownership, and that's not gonna fucking fly for me.
Right.
So I would start with the conversation, like B said, and then I think that's a great opener, is kind of diving into like how they're feeling and
Yeah.
what they want.
Yeah.
Which that's probably that communication I think is key.
Yeah, I
where
think
I
it's
would
spot
have
on.
where I would have struggled, and I just
Right.
learned something from you.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's spot on what you said, and from both sides of it. But you know, words in there like tolerating each other for 7 years and not having like
Right.
interests and just doing because the other person, like
Right.
if I go, hey,
That's
let's go to the movies, and you don't
dangerous.
really like the movies, but you go
Tolerate.
just to go.
Right.
But I also feel like this is the first time it seems like that she's actually speaking out and going, I'm
Right.
going to do this because I know that he's not
I
going to
mean,
want to
is
do
she
it.
really
Right.
though? Because she's writing the question to us.
I know. Well, I guess she's asking. You're right. I feel like she needs to
Right.
go. But I
Right.
also think that there's going to be some underlying hurt in there as
Right.
well.
Right.
And even if he said, I'll go with you, but it's like, I feel like if he does it, I think she needs to be the one to say, look, I know that after 7 years, we don't like doing the same thing. So I need you to sit this one out. She needs to be assertive and have him
Right.
sit this one out and have her go by herself. Because I think she needs
Right.
this for herself in order to grow.
Right.
And maybe at the end of it, in a bad way, I don't mean to say this, but
Right.
you might not want to be with this guy anymore after all. I
Right.
mean, I can't be
Ooh,
with someone
yeah.
for 7 years and just tolerate
Or
something.
maybe he's been waiting for somebody to take the lead of
Right.
maybe he's been wanting it too.
Right.
And we don't know the dynamic.
So this
Maybe-
is going to open up that conversation.
It's a learning
Yeah.
curve for both of them.
Right.
Maybe hopefully he's like, oh, maybe that's what I need too.
Okay.
Like I didn't know. Maybe he grew up with a compromising parents. So like this is all he knows.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But do you feel like if he stayed home, let's say she went, they had this conversation. And what
Right.
he said, he has this self-realization while she's gone,
Yeah.
just like she has it when she's gone.
Right.
So there's going to be somebody realizing something out of this whole
Right.
situation.
Yeah, I see
And,
a big potential for growth, but she can't keep it in. She's got to have the
Yeah.
conversation.
So
Right.
I
does-
wish we could follow up with these
I know,
questions
I
and be
know.
like, hey, whatever
Yeah.
happened.
So if I can ask, do you think she should go?
Yes,
I think so too.
most definitely.
Yeah.
I think my answer was only to how to converse
Right.
about
Approach
it.
it.
Right. Agreed. Agree
Right.
with you.
You know,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
reception is important
Right.
in communication. But
Because you're right. There's a lot going on underneath all that for her to even be at this point to ask that. But there's going to
Yeah.
be, that's
yeah,
a
I
good
think
one.
a lot of missed opportunities are when people are defensive or not, or guards are up. So I just don't want them to miscommunicate. But she's gonna go.
Right.
Like, you're going.
Yeah. You had said something
Yeah.
earlier. I mean, both you girls did about how if you're with someone and, they're just kind of like agreeable or doing this, you want someone to take charge in certain aspects of whatever the part of the relationship it is. But, and that's the fun of it. That's the beauty. That's the challenge. But
Right.
when one's just sitting back and just not giving much, it's
Right.
just, that's where it's kind of gets to the point of
I
where,
need that for me.
okay, yeah. Like, do you stay in that though? But 7 years, it's like, that's a long time to be just putting up with something like that.
I struggle with, like she said, with the quitting, because I know in my heart of hearts I'm not a quitter.
Okay.
So that's like always my struggle, because I want to.
So you fight for it.
I do, but then it gets to a point where, so if someone says to me, "Oh, you're just quitting," that's
Right.
like,
I hear
it
ya.
kind of like fuels me, and I'm like,
Right.
Yeah,
But
hear
I
that.
think that's ego though, because you got to think about, are you the only one fighting? Fighting's cool, but you weren't quitting if you're the only one fighting.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's
yeah,
not
I'm like,
really-
I've been talking, you're just not listening.
Right.
So I'm choosing me.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm
so
done
you're not
here.
quitting. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like you're super intelligent to where like I've been fighting enough. It's not quitting. It's
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah. So this is
But
what
I just
this sounds
hate
like.
You don't like things not working out because
Yeah.
you're a go-getter, But the thing is, like, I've learned with, this is why I just keep rolling through. It sounds bad, guys, but I'm okay with things not working out because, like, you have to also know it's not in control. It's like a whole nother human being, girl.
I feel like we
Yeah.
get judged though.
Mm-hmm.
Like
What do you mean
I'm
by
like, because I feel like I think society says we need to find our person and stick to our person. So the second that we're like, this isn't working for me, 4
Yeah,
months. Oh,
yeah.
on to the next. Oh, I
Yep.
like this one. And then your friends or whoever's like, wait,
Yeah.
you're dating this person now?
Right.
I'm so confused. Like, I can't keep up with you.
But remember the thing of indifference
And I'm
that
like,
she said earlier?
this is called dating.
Well, this is
Right,
actually
but-
deeper. If you don't mind me diving deep
Get it,
into
girl.
history, is that women aren't ever allowed the grace of choice. So for eons, women are dying to be chosen. You work to be the best wife possible, the prettiest. Nowadays, it might look different. It's the same. Oh, I want to make my own money because then I'm an independent woman, but I
Yeah.
also look good, but I'm also badass. And this is speaking for me. And then I'm so good on paper. Like, now somebody's got to choose me, But then we all forget, like, fuck that. Like, we choose.
Yeah.
And then men forget, like, you're not just choosing me. Like, dude,
Exactly.
I chose not to choose you.
Right,
Like,
thank
women have
you.
choice now too. So it's not like now that we're raising daughters, it's not like, like when you're softer, people want to play with you. When you're not so bossy, like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to play with you.
Right.
Right.
That's how my
Yeah.
goddaughter is. My goddaughter's like, they don't want to play with me, but whatever, I'll play by myself.
Yeah.
That's really how we
I
are.
like it.
But
yeah,
this-
and
this-
I think
by-
it's trauma from
It's instilled in you at a young age. by the
Instilled in
way.
women.
Yeah, exactly.
instilled
Right.
in women.
Right.
And change
Right.
doesn't happen overnight. So we're still stuck with the geotag of the genetic tag of that trauma.
I do, if you like, if now we're getting real deep, but I do feel like growing up, like no one ever like fought for me or chose me. So it's funny you say that. So I acknowledge that, but now I'm the one that's doing the choosing, if that makes sense. But I have no problem saying this is not working for me, so I'm going to move on. But I hate the stigma that comes with it. Like,
see what you're
oh,
saying.
you're on to the
There's
next.
definitely a
Like,
stigma.
are you a quitter, or like, what's wrong? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm
Right.
just like, no, I'm not going to stay in something that's
Yeah.
not like a good fit for me.
Yeah.
But I'm very comfortable in my own skin. I know who
Yeah.
I am. I know what
Yeah.
I bring to the table.
And that's what you go with. That's all you have to go
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
And this is, like I said, why this show exists, because of the fact that, like, for me being a guy, I'm an advocate for women making those choices and understanding. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm a guy that, like, what you're saying, it's like, that wouldn't bother me. I'm hoping that you would be that way. I'm hoping you would say that to me. I don't
And
want,
that's
and
huge.
that's why I do this, because it's like, I'm that, like you said, something about indifference earlier. It's like, I go with the flow, but I also know when I need to say something and when I don't like something.
Right.
And when there's things that I'm just like, you know what, you could be better this way. I
Right.
obviously have a lot of work to do for myself. Always I have to work
Right.
on myself, but
Right.
I try to put out there as much as I can. Express. That's why when you talk to me, I'm like, what choice do you want to make? And what's wrong with that choice? There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with dating 5 guys,
Yeah.
as long as you make that decision, that's
Right.
on you. No one
Right.
else should care except for you. I don't
Right.
look at you differently.
Right.
No,
But
I
I
know
agree,
you
no,
don't.
but I agree that people
Yeah,
do.
but
and
I
that's-
just
but those
sometimes I get
people-
annoyed answering.
Yeah, I think
right.
the
Like,
stigma is from
because you know
men.
it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Right.
men aren't used to being rejected like that. Men aren't used to being the ones vying for, like being chosen. They make money, they're successful, and now they can choose from the crop. That's what they're used to. And I'm only generalizing. Of course,
Right.
there's
Right.
great men, but I think like it's big to have a man in these spaces that say, it's cool if you don't want me. You're allowed to not
Right,
want
exactly,
me.
right.
You're allowed to not want me. That's like so huge.
There's
for
a thing
women.
that I've always said, and I use it a lot, where I said, like, you either say yes or no. I mean,
Yeah.
and if I present something to you, we all get scared or nervous, and we all
Right.
don't want to be alone. We all don't want to be a
Yeah.
quitter. I mean, I'm all
I don't
board-
like being told
I'm on,
no.
Right. I'm on board with all that. I may be talking lip service, but I feel the
Yeah.
same fears as everybody else.
Yeah.
But then I have to look inside and go, all right, well, I got to still put it out there, because if I
Right.
don't, then you're never going to know.
Right.
And I'm the person that's why I'm always open and honest as much as I can be. I say
Yeah.
as much as I can be.
Yeah.
And so I think
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I've been rejected once or twice. I'm just kidding. More than
She
that.
goes, I'm just kidding. I
Not
love
very
that.
often. Maybe once.
Look at her laugh. She's like,
But yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think that like whenever women go through those things, they like just need to remember like it's not me. It's literally thousands of years of this shit. Like
Yeah.
I just inherited the shit, so it's
Yeah.
fine. Like I don't have to be perfect. Like it's
Right.
it's like unlearning all this shit, and then even if you unlearn it, there's still hundreds of people that aren't unlearning it.
It's always
true.
a process.
Yeah.
right. So
And
it's
I
like-
love it. I'm having fun.
Yeah, I'm having fun too.
Do this all day. You've been
Right.
amazing. Thank you
Yeah, thank
so
you
much
so
for being
much.
here. It's like you're like the life of the show today. I love it.
my
so,
God, thank
and I
you.
want to promote your Instagram, but it's down. But
It's
I guess
down,
please
but
let them know
Let's put the
regardless.
plug
though.
up though anyway.
Because I think people still
Travis,
follow and stuff.
yeah.
You just can't get in, but people
Yeah.
can still
But
go on
she's
there.
gonna get back on.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So it's Killer B MMA all across the board. TikTok, Twitter. Am I allowed a TikTok because I'm over 30? But TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. So Killer B MMA. Pretty self-explanatory.
Love that.
I love it.
And Jamie?
Yay. Jamie_Villamore. And then, Microtech. Thank you guys so much. So I'm super excited to get my knife done.
Yay. I'm going to have to get one of those.
Man, she's got a lot of them, guys. So, all right, you can find me at Fetch Sport and anything dating-intelligence or anything dating intelligence on social media. So please keep following us and subscribing. And thank you for all your feedback. And please keep bringing those questions in because we would like to follow up on a lot of these questions and see how things
Yes.
went. Like, I want to know if this woman's going to decide to go on her trip or not.
Yeah.
So, all right, it's been another good show. B, thanks once again for coming
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Thank you.
All right,
So
guys,
fun.
we are out.